Hi everyone, it's Sharon Spellman here, Matrix's brand ambassador. Today we have a really exciting day. I'm going to wait a couple minutes for you guys to come on and then we'll get right into it. Are we live? Are we good? Let's do it. Okay, again, I'm Sharon Spellman, Matrix's brand ambassador. Today I'm going to be taking you guys through a toning technique. So let's just get right into it, yeah? So I have already pre-lightened the entire head and I toned everything except this quadrant. So I'm going to show you guys my toning techniques. So before I mix all the hair together, let me show you. So I gave her, let me pump her down a little. I gave her a nice balayage feel. Really, really seamless blend, really blended from the roots down to the ends, and that's what we were going for. Just like something very low maintenance, something that anyone can rock and feel themselves in. I also gave her, let me twist her around a little bit. Whoop, whoop. I also gave her a really bold little money piece right there, which I'll be showing you how I tone as well. So let's get into it. I am going to pin off all of this. And you guys, when I lightened her, I did use Matrix Light Master Bonder inside. Let me show you this bad boy. We do have an amazing giveaway going on. So the more you comment, the more chances you have at winning an amazing giveaway from a bunch of Matrix's products. So stay alert, stay with me. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them. I'll have my assistant David behind us. He'll be asking all the questions so I can answer them, as well as my Instagram, you guys. My Instagram is at sharon.simplyinsane. My DMs are always open, so if we don't answer a question that you have, you can DM me. Okay, so let's do it. So I mixed up my root smudge. We're gonna go in with a 7NV. 7NV, you guys, this is such a gorgeous color. Not only is it neutral, but it has violet too. So you're really canceling out a lot of what you need to cancel out. So I do like to tone with damp hair. So I am gonna take my From Mars squirt bottle and just kind of dampen her out. Especially doll heads, you guys, they kind of suck up product really quickly. And we don't want that. I want more of a sheer finish. So I do want to damp her up. Let me damp a little more. I'm so excited to show you guys this toning technique because this is such a universal toning technique that you can really use on any type of blonding technique. And it will give you this great, like, gradual blend that everyone's looking for right now. Again, if you have any comments or questions, go ahead and leave them in the chat box. And I'm going to squirt her ends a little more because ends tend to be more coarse. All right, let's get right into it. So I like to start off by taking out my money piece because I'm going to actually tone my money piece with my ends toner instead of the root toner because I really want to make that such a bold, bright front piece. So I'm going to take out that money piece. I'm saying I still have a little more money piece. So let me take that out. But do you see sometimes when you take your money piece, there's a little dark. Don't be lazy. Pick out that dark because you don't want something to get toned with just an ends toner if it's not supposed to.
Someone asked, why do you do it wet?
So the reason I'm doing this wet is because the hair tends to suck up the color a whole lot more when the hair is dry. And I'm not really trying to, have a super bold look in the sense of I'm not trying to pigment her all the way. I still want to have that sheer look. So I'm going to make it wet so that the color isn't as direct in going straight into the hair. Let me know if that answered your question. Okay, so I'm really getting her pretty damp here. Okay, so I'm going to clean up my section and let's get started. So again, leaving out the money piece, I personally like to start from the bottom up. It really depends. There's no right way and wrong way. It's kind of just whatever you're feeling in the moment. And I'm feeling like I want to start at the bottom. So I'm going to completely outline my whole section. Take a piece down. And I'm going to bring it really low. I really want a lot of depth when it comes to this, because we did a balayage, I'm really looking for a lot of depth with my root smudge so that she really has that seamless grow out. And while doing so, I'm going to keep everything diagonal section, just like I did with my blend when I was lightening, so that everything is really gradual, starting lighter and bolder at the face, and then a little deeper in the back. And then I like to take my comb and just kind of smear those lines, and you'll really start to see that gradual effect that I'm creating. Now let's get back to the next section. So you can see I take pretty small sections, nothing too crazy, but small enough that I'm really penetrating the hair completely and really getting that color everywhere it needs to go. So I'm going in. I'm really going to saturate that whole area, and then I'm kind of going to go in and start painting like I would with lightener, but reverse. So you know how my lightener, you could see it's going that way. So now I'm going to reverse, and I'm going to paint the exact opposite way to still have that gradual effect.
Someone asked, so the 7NW is what you were toning her roots with?
No, 7NV, so neutral violet. You guys, probably one of my most favorite root smudge colors, or like a mid color. We're not doing a mid color today. We're just doing a root smudge and ends. But you guys, it is neutral violet. Like, not only are you neutralizing, but you're adding that little bit of oomph to get rid of any brass you may see. It is such a stunning color. Just wait and see. All right, so you want to make sure, like I didn't do, you really want to keep your sections clean. I'll probably go in and re-clean this after this one.
Someone asked, what color are you using? Are you using a semi-color?
So right now, let me just re-clean this section. Right now, I'm using a demi. I'm using a demi-permanent 7NV for my root smudge. So actually, everything today will be demi-permanent. So you guys, I'm really saturating everything. Really making sure that I'm not going to have any holes in my formula, because if you don't, if you're taking too thick of sections and you're being lazy because you want to get it done quicker, you're going to end up having all these holes, and then you're going to have random warm spots that the 7NV didn't touch. So you might as well just take that extra step to really fully saturate. It really will make the biggest difference. And then see how
someone asked, how do you smear the lines?
So that's exactly how you smear the lines, exactly what I just did. So really taking your comb, and you don't want to brush down because then you're kind of dragging that color downward. You kind of really want to pull that section up and go up and out, because then you're not bringing it to the ends, but you're completely blurring that line or any line you may have created. Next section.
Someone else asked, what developer do you use?
So for this, I'm using 10 volume developer. I'm going to go in, and we're really going to get it all over, fully saturating.
Someone else asked, what was your balayage technique?
So that's super fun, you guys. I have a few videos on my Instagram at Sharon.simplyinsane showing my balayage technique. But I can kind of break that down for you guys after I finish this toning. If we have some time, I can break that down really quick. Beautiful.
Someone asked, is the 7NV matrix?
Yes, everything I'm doing right now is believe in Matrix's products. They really do make it for all hair types and all hair textures. And you can really see it. Not to mention, everything is pre-bonded now. So it saves you that step of going to the bowl, like after you lighten, going to the bowl and having to do that bonder, saves you all that. And also, you guys, my client's hair, now that we have this new bonder inside, my client's hair actually tends to look shinier and smoother than it was when they came in with virgin hair. So this product, you guys, is really, really a game changer for me. You can see I'm staying with my slant. I'm keeping my toner the exact same way I lightened her, those diagonal down sections. And then I'm gonna go in to blur that line and doop, blurred. Boom. Okay, I'm gonna wash my hands. All right. And again, this is not something that you guys wanna rush, you guys. The toning, I mean, the whole process is so important, but especially toning, if you're rushing and your toner placement isn't where it needs to be, that's gonna really distinguish whether you did a fly application or not. If your application is just like staggered and everything isn't flowing the way it should, it's never gonna look the way you want it to look. So you guys really have to be consistent and mindful when doing your toners.
Someone else asked, what is the matrix mixing ratio for this formula?
So this is just 1-to-1. I love that too, because it gives me that consistency. It's not too, you could see, it's not too thick, but it's thick enough to where it's not running. And sometimes I feel like ratios like 1-to-2, they become too runny, and then my root smudge will drip onto the ends, and we cannot have that. Again, you guys, if we don't answer any of your, if we don't answer your question, feel free to slide in my DMs, ask me anything you need. My Instagram is at Sharon.simplyinsane. All right, keeping those sections super clean and fully saturating that root. Again, I left my money pieces out because I want a really bold front, so I'm going to use my ends toner for the money piece toner. That's a good tip.
Someone said, will the 10 volume accidentally lift the base? Other brands sometimes do this.
Matrix, I never ever have that issue with 10 volume. Obviously, if you're going to 20, yeah, you might have that shift, but I have never had that problem using Matrix's 10 volume. Beautiful. So again, I'm really keeping that slant the entire time. I'm following the pattern of the head and the way I lighten her. It's a little money piece. And even if you guys didn't lighten up here, do you see how I didn't lighten at all right there? But I'm still going in and completely submerging the root. That's because if the root does grab any of those tones, the NV tones, I want to make sure it all has it. Because if I was just starting right here and then this didn't catch anything, you're going to have her natural, and then you're going to have the beautiful NV and then the ends, and it's going to look like 3. It's not going to flow. So sometimes your client's root toner won't do anything, but if it does catch, you want to make sure that you're catching it the way it needs to be caught, so everything looks correct and is flowing together properly. Beautiful.
Someone asked, how many minutes for processing?
So I like to watch it. I say, doll heads are different than humans, obviously. So for her, I keep her on for about 10 minutes. And then if I'm looking and I'm like, I still think she needs a little bit more time, I just let her have more time. I try not to stress on the little things, you guys. There's no reason to overthink it. Just watch it. Don't take your eyes off of it. If you're loving how it's looking, but you're like, I think I want a little more pigment, let it sit for 2 more minutes. And just keep watching it. There's no right or wrong answer with that. So I'm really fully saturating. We might need to make some more color.
Someone else asked, do you find it more difficult to keep your root toner from running or smearing into the money piece?
I actually don't. When I was first starting off, I did. So I'd have a lot of difficulty. But what you can actually do is you can just like bundle this up and then clip it to the other side so it's nowhere near in your way. Now I feel confident enough with my sectioning that I'm fine. But yes, I used to find a lot of difficulties with not letting it splash or something. So yeah, I would just pin it to the other side.
Someone asked, do you go lower in the back on the smudge?
Yes. So as I work up the head, I tend to take less and less slants and less depth because I really want to keep her bright around the head, around the hairline, I'm sorry. So yeah, and you'll see in the bottom, I went way lower than I am right now. Let's keep this going. Careful with doll heads, you guys, when you're practicing toners and trying out new colors, because doll heads do tend to take a lot quicker than a typical client would. So like I said, just really watch it and just be mindful of what you're doing. She is going to be beautiful. Also, you guys, be really mindful of the ends. Like, I used to have a problem when I was starting off that when I would take sections, I wouldn't be mindful of my ends, and then my ends would get caught up in the root toner, and that's a big no-no. Because then it's like you just spent 9 hours on a huge transformation just to get your root smudge and your ends. Oh my gosh. I've done that before, and I was crying. I'm like, no. I really want to cover that area. We might have just enough product, actually.
Someone said, sorry, I'm new to this. Fixing to start cosmetology classes. What is the money piece?
The money piece. So the money piece is basically when you accentuate the very front piece around your hairline. That's a money piece. It's a money maker. And welcome all the new people. I'm so excited to be connecting with you guys. I miss in-person shows and classes so much. So I feel like being able to connect with you guys on live is so special. And it makes me feel like things are going back to normal, but on live. Okay, I'm loving what I'm seeing. We have this one last section, and then we'll start doing the ends. And I'll let you know what I tone with and all that fun stuff. Okay. All right. So again, I'm really mindful with my sections, and I'll even look at the other side and I'll be like, okay, how far did I take it down? I took it down to right here. So everything is about precision, you guys. When you're trying to get a perfect tone, even in your balayages, if you're trying to get a perfect balayage, perfect highlight, whatever it may be, perfect root smudge, symmetry is everything. Really take your time and make sure it's even. Don't rush. I say with everything in hair, you just can't rush anything with hair because it could go bad so quick and then all your time is wasted. We don't like wasted time. Beautiful. So I'm going to comb through everything. And then I'm going to be like, oh, I have a little bit of a hole. So I'm going to go back in and I'm going to reapply.
Someone said, sorry, I know it was said, but what was the root melt color you're using again?
This is 7NV, Neutral Violet. It is absolutely stunning. I've probably been using that shade in the salon more than any other shades lately because I'm just so obsessed. Okay, so you'll see me. I'll kind of look here and I'll be like, are we exact? Yes, I have the exact blend I want.
Someone said, can I see how you brush closely?
Yes, so here you go. And you're going to kind of pull out, pull out, pull out. Because if you pull down, you're bringing it all with you. But if you pull out, you're not smudging. You're just clearing that line up. See me? And then I'm seeing a little bit of warmth right here. So I'm kind of just going to paint down. And really customize your guys' color, you know? There really is no wrong and right way. All right, so my root color is on. Let's get into the ends. So I mixed 11V. Write this down, you guys. Are you ready? This is a really, really pretty color. It's one of my favorites. 11V. So those are the new Matrix. So color sync with bonder inside. 11V, 9GV, which is gold violet, and SPN. Okay, you guys. Seriously, tell me if I need to write it again because it's such a pretty color, and you'll see right now. So 11V, 9GV, and SPN. And I mean, look at that. Look at that, you guys. Look at those ends compared to those ends. I mean, they're both really pretty already because I did a really solid lift. But when I'm looking at these ends in person, I'm seeing such a great tone that you just can't go wrong with it. Okay, so I'm going to start off back at the bottom where I was. And so if you could see, sometimes your hand will get dirty. So what you want to do, or I'm so sorry, this time I'm going to start at the top. So I'm going to start at the top so I can flip over. I'm going to start at the top. I'm going to paint here. And then I'm going to slowly work into blending those colors together. And you'll see I'll kind of only fluff them together a little bit.
Someone asked, did you use equal parts for the ends?
For the ends, no. I used 20 grams of 11V, 10 grams of 9GV, and 5 grams of SPN. Boom. Okay, so you can see I'm actually going to be leaving the ends out because they pick up so quickly. I'm going to leave the ends out and wait until the very ends and just hit my ends so the ends are the lightest part of the head. Same with my money piece. When I go in to do my ends, I'll do my money piece. So I'm just going to flip that over and pick my next section.
Someone asked, what is SPN?
SPN is Silver Pearl Neutral. Oh, I'm so sorry. I got that wrong, you guys. I don't know what is Silver Pearl Neutral. It's Sheer Pearl Neutral. Oh my gosh. It is amazing, you guys. When I tell you that this is just a perfect additive to just kind of balance out your formulations, it really saves the day sometimes. Just adding that extra bit of oomph changes everything. And what's cool about Matrix is most colors are like interchangeable as long as they're stick with acidic and alkaline with alkaline, but they're all interchangeable. So you can really get creative and make some amazing formulas that nobody's ever seen before. I always say, you guys, don't be lazy. Have fun. Go in the salon on your days off and just have fun with it and make swatches out of your doll head and just create new tones.
Someone asked GV or GB?
GV, so gold violet.
Someone else asked, is the 11 series a high lift?
So no, it's not a high lift, but what I like to do, because I like to, we gotta like try new things. Switch up your developer and see what happens. But you guys, it's obviously not the OG, so don't expect it to work as like an exact high lift would, like our ultra lifts. But you can do anything when you change a little bit of developer. So get creative, you guys. And if you guys try this technique, I would love for you to tag me on Instagram, whether it's in your stories or on your posts. I would love to see how it turns out for you guys. Okay, so I just went in and I just did basically my mid. So sometimes I'll do like a separate mid color, but today I'm creating my mid color by kind of bringing down that root smudge, interchanging them a little bit, and then doing the ends at the very end. So that ends up being technically a third color. So before I do that, before I go and apply my third color, I want to comb everything through. I want to make sure that every single strand is completely saturated with the color. And when doing so, I could see, oh, I have a couple holes. I need to go back in. So it really saves you, because what happens if you're, blow drying your client and then you see the holes then you're like, oh shoot, do I tell her I want to tone her again, or do I just say like whatever? It's like, it will really save you a lot of time in the end, just checking for your holes immediately. See how that's already working, you guys? So pretty. So I'll probably give it a couple more minutes, and then I'll go in and add it to my ends and then my money piece. So if you guys have any questions, let me know right now. I do want to go into a couple things, you guys. So Matrix has this new system. It's the Unbreak My Blonde system. But one of the biggest things, you guys, is this Bleach Finder. This has seriously been a game changer for me when maintaining and reviving all my lightened hair types and textures, because this is gonna not only save me time, but then you're like, wait, Sharon, if it's an extra step, how would it save me time? It saves you time because have you ever gone to tone and then you see random like splotches in your toner and you're like, what is that about? That's because there's still lightener particles in the hair. So when you put the toner on, it's catching a lot to the pigment is catching to those lightened pieces, and it's gonna make the toner different from the rest. So when you use this, so you're gonna use your Unbreak My Blonde shampoo, and then you're gonna go in with your Bleach Finder, and you guys, so it's yellow, but if there's any bleach particles, it's gonna start turning pink. So if you see pink, that means start your sink because you need to rinse again because there's still lightener particles. So not only has this been a game changer for me when like keeping the client's hair consistent, but I never have to go back and retone and be like, oh crap, there's blotchiness. I never have to anymore because this does all the work for me. So you guys, this is a really big deal. I highly, highly suggest using it. I lighten hair all day long, and when I tell you that has actually saved me time in the salon, it really has. Okay, so let's do the ends, my favorite part. So it's been sitting for a little bit. We're gonna go in and saturate those ends. I'm gonna really work through. Do we have any questions?
Someone said, do you wipe your hands clean with a towel in between to avoid spots?
Yes, I actually have my towel right here. So I will, especially even when I'm doing my root toner, if I know I'm picking my next section and I know I have root toner on my hands, what if I accidentally touch an end? What if I touch a mid? So every single time you'll see me, I'm wiping my hands and then getting back into it. A lot of these things, you guys, are just, and I know this might sound crazy, but it's so true, just don't be a lazy hairstylist. Lazy hairstylist, it shows in your work. And you guys, I used to be like that. I used to be like, oh, well, the client doesn't want to stay longer and I'm tired and I'm just not going to take that extra step. But it's that extra step that will completely elevate your career and like the way your platform looks and the way the hair ends up coming out. Your clients will love it. It's just take those extra steps, you guys.
Someone else asked, do you only do one side at a time?
So, meaning my toner? So I will do, so I noticed I missed the piece, you guys, so I'm going to go in and just correct that. And then I'm going to re-comb. So yeah, I will only tone one side at a time. So typically I'll start in the back and do the whole back, and then I'll go on to my front. And as you get quicker and quicker, like sometimes at the beginning I wasn't quick. So I would like do my root melt and then wash her and then bring her back because I don't want the root melt staying on too long. But now that I'm a little quicker and I have all hands on deck, I have my assistants and everything, I do it all in one go. But if you feel like you're someone that's a little slower at toning, feel free to do the roots, wash, and then do the ends. Or you could do the ends, rinse, and then do the root. There really is no wrong or right way. You just have to make sure what you are doing is organized and on point.
Someone asked, how long do you leave the toner on?
It really just depends on what I'm going for. So you see how I'm going back in, you guys? I'm going to get that money piece all saturated. This is the last thing I do because this is such a tender, sensitive area. I don't want the color staying on for too long. So with my doll head here, I'll probably keep the whole color on for about 10 minutes. Doll heads and people with porous hair tend to suck that color up really quick. And I don't want to take her too much darker. You know, I want it to ash out a little bit, but I don't really want the tone to go darker. So I'm not going to keep it on for too long. But at the same time, you guys, you don't want to wash it off too soon because then it might not neutralize what you need neutralized. So you got to trust your process. All right, so now that she is fully saturated, I'm going to kind of go in with my root and just kind of re-smudge. Make sure everything's super angled. Maybe recomb a couple times. Beautiful. Okay, now I want to show you guys the other side. I'll probably just take my gloves off, actually. Okay, so for those of you that were asking about, my lightening technique and the toning formula, this is what it's going to end up looking like. And again, I kept this on for 10 minutes, you guys. So this is what you're going to see. So this is that 7NV. Let me brush it out a little more. This is the 7NV. And then this is that end toner I was talking about. And do you see how, because I was pulling it down a little bit, I have my 7NV. I have this like mid color that was created. And then I have my ends, which are a little bit more sheer, more see-through and lighter. So you're really getting that like gradient, like darker to lighter effect all over the hair. And what I did, my technique for lightening her was I sectioned her a little beyond the apex down. So the apex, you guys, for those who don't know, is like the tippity top of your head. If you put a comb or something flat on top, that's where it's going to stay. So I like to go a little beyond that, bring it down to the ear, because then what you do here is going to be so beautiful and it's going to pop through what comes over here. So because I'm doing this crazy diagonal, because I really want that melty look, everything here is going to go over when it lies naturally, which is going to give you exactly what you're looking for. As well as in the back. All my sections in the back were like this, you guys. The whole time I was taking sections like this. And not only was I diagonaling hard, but even in my foil, I was keeping that slant. I wanted all my depth to be in the middle and then in these pockets right here. Any more questions? And then my money piece, you guys. Let me turn it a little more. So for my money piece, there's different ways you can go about money pieces. You can either do right here, or you can do the whole hairline. For my balayage, I actually love when I have some depth right here. You can see though, I don't have too much depth. There's still a good amount of like lightened pieces going throughout, but it's not like this. And I love that because that's just gonna make this front piece pop even more. And then everything just looks so gradient. I mean, like, look at that. Isn't that not like the most beautiful blend ever? I want her hair. Okay, how are we on timing? Are we good? Yay! Okay, so I want to show you guys, she's definitely processing. Her hair wasn't as wet. It was just a bit damp, so it is processing quicker. And look at that.
Someone asked, what formula did you use on the money piece?
Money piece was, let me grab everything for you. So I did 20 grams of 11V. Let me grab it. My 11V is right here. I have 20 grams of 11V. And then I did 10 grams of 9GV. And then we added a little 5 grams of SPN. You guys, SPN is great because it's a sheer pastel neutral. It's basically just going to give you that little bit of oomph that you're looking for. And this is only a sheer pastel neutral. So its only job is to give you that. So when you add this into your ends formula, not only are you getting a great like 11V, 9GV formula, but then I'm adding extra sheerness and pastelness. What really is like a deal breaker for me, because I mean, look at those ends. Absolutely beautiful. And you guys, because we probably don't have that much time to like blow dry her and style her and show you the end result, that is why I left half the head. But I'll also be posting the complete final result with the doll head styled and everything on my Instagram and in the comments. So stay tuned for that. As well as if you didn't get your question answered, don't worry, you can DM me. I'll answer any questions that you guys have. I'll be making sure to be on my phone today. Just want to make sure. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited, you guys, to watch her. This is gonna be so pretty. Don't forget, we have a giveaway, you guys. Matrix is doing a huge giveaway. You're gonna get a bunch of fun stuff, so make sure you're dropping comments. I love you guys, and I hope to see you again soon. Mwah.